Hello and welcome back to A1 Math. So today we're going to continue our talk on angles. More specifically, we're going to talk about parallel lines and the angles they form. So what we know so far about missing angles is we know 7 rules, right? We know 7 rules that aid us in helping find missing angles in given questions. If we don't remember the 7 rules, go back and check the previous lecture on the 7 rules. What we will learn today is we will learn 2 new rules. We'll learn 2 new rules to essentially add to our toolbox that is used to determine missing angles. So these new rules are going to be about parallel lines. So just a quick little review. These are the 7 rules. Again, if we don't remember how to use them, go ahead and check back on our previous lecture and we will go more in depth with the 7 rules there. But today, we're going to be talking about parallel lines and something called a transversal. So what is a transversal? Well, to understand what a transversal is, we first need to know what a parallel line is, or parallel lines, right? And parallel lines are just straight lines that never intersect, right? So these are parallel lines. These are parallel lines. They just never intersect. So they can go on forever and they never intersect. What a transversal is a line that actually intersects 2 parallel lines. So right here in our blue is a transversal because it intersects our 2 parallel lines. Likewise over here, we could have a transversal that cuts through the lines like this. So it's any line that cuts through 2 parallel lines. That's what a transversal is. So with transversals, there's 2 distinct patterns that we're going to look for when we're trying to find angles. The first of which is called a Z pattern or a Z pattern. And what this Z pattern is, it's simply you're looking for the letter Z. Now it could be forward or it could also be backwards. It could also be backwards. So if we were looking, again, we're talking about transversals. So if we were looking for parallel lines and a transversal that makes a Z pattern, where would our parallel lines be? Well, these would be parallel, and these would be parallel, leaving us with our transversal that cuts through the 2 lines, right? Definition of transversal. So with a Z pattern, what does this tell us about angles? Well, it tells us the angles here and here are equal to one another. Conversely, on our backwards letter, it's still the same. It's the inside angles that are equal to one another. So let's go ahead and look at an F pattern, what an F pattern is. Well, we're simply looking for the letter F, capital letter F. Now this F could be straightforward F. It could be a backwards F. It could even be an upside down F. Or an upside down backwards F. Right? And what are we looking for here? Well, again, our parallel lines remain the same, right? And our transversal is the line that intersects. Our transversal is the line that intersects. So the third line in each letter. Now these F's don't have to be straightforward, like a straight letter F. They could also be slanted a bit, or so on, slanted backwards, right? We're just looking for the letter F. Now what does this tell us about angles? What pattern does this make for helping us solve angles? Well, with the letter F, it's the corner angles that are equal. So in this case, this angle here would be equal to this angle down here. Conversely, on this side, this angle here would be equal to this angle here. Let's go ahead and do them backwards and upside down. So do you see the two equal angles here? Again, it's the same. It's the corner angles. This one here is equal to this angle down here. And last but not least, we could have an F pattern that looks like this. But again, it's still the corner angles. This angle here is equal to this angle here. So we're going to add the Z and F patterns to our so-called toolbox and helping us find different angles, missing angles. Let's give one a try together. In this example here, we're looking for angle X. We're looking for angle X and also angle Y. So now we have our 7 rules that we talked about previously, but we have 2 new rules. And those 2 new rules rely on parallel lines and transversals. Well, it looks like we have a set of parallel lines. AB is parallel to line CD. Great. And we also have a transversal cutting through the parallel lines. So do you see any patterns here? Because you remember with transversals, we have the Z pattern and we also have the F pattern. So do you see any patterns here that would help us solve for either X or Y? Well, there's a Z pattern, right? There's a Z pattern. And with Z patterns, it's the inside angles that are equal. So this angle 43 would be equal to this angle over here, which is X. Now, we're looking for angle Y. How do we find angle Y? Well, is our transversal not a straight line? Is this not a straight line? Well, it is. And how do we find angles of straight lines? Well, we know that they sum up to 180 degrees. So 180 minus our angle X of 43 would give us 137, which is our angle Y, which is equal to angle Y. That's it. So here, we used the Z pattern to solve for angle X, and then we went back and used our 7 rules to solve for angle Y. Let's give another one a try. Now I want you to pause the video and try this one on your own. Did you give it a try? Great. So with this one, you might think, well, I just did a Z pattern question. I'll probably give you an F pattern question. And you're right. So where is the F pattern here? Well, in this case, it's backwards. But we know with F patterns, it's the corner angles that are equal. So this angle here of 124 would be equal to our angle X. And it's that simple. So because of the F pattern, angle X is equal to 124 degrees. And that's it. So now we have added 2 new tools to our toolbox in helping us find missing angles.